Hi, welcome to a quick examples video. So this one is based around equivalent fractions. Alright, so equivalent fractions are fractions that often have denominators and numerators that have the same multiples or same common factors. So if we have a look here, the first example says, write 4 equivalent fractions for 2 over 3. So one of your first things you can do is just start by multiplying by 2, 3, 4, 5. You could really multiply it by any. So I'm going to start by going 2 over 3, and I'm going to times it by 2. So when you multiply a fraction by a whole number, it means you're multiplying both the top and the bottom, so the numerator and denominator. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. So there's one equivalent fraction to 2 over 3. So I'm going to do another one, and this time I'm going to go times by 10. Okay, so 2 times 10 is 20, 3 times 10 is 30. So there's another equivalent fraction. Alright, let's do 2 over 3. We'll go back to a small number. Let's go by 5 this time. Okay, 2 times 5 is 10, and then 5 times 3, or 3 times 5, is 15. Okay, so we need one more because it wanted 4. We've done 3 so far. So let's go 2 over 3, and we'll times by, let's go by 3. Let's go small number again. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6, and 3 times 3 is 9. And ta-da, if you look at that, we now have 4 equivalent fractions. It doesn't matter what numbers you times by. You can simply start by timesing by 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that will give you 4 equivalent fractions straight off. So now let's look at our second example. It says, by either writing equals or does not equal, so equals is this one here, and does not equals is that one, between the fractions, so in the boxes provided, state whether the following pairs of fractions are equivalent or not equivalent. Okay, so when I look at this, I'm going to look at my first one. I've got 1 over 3 and 3 over 7. Now I'm looking at this right off and I'm going, 3 and 7, the highest common factor they have is 1. So that tells me right off that they're not equivalent. But the other thing you could test is by multiplying each fraction by the bottom of the other. So to show you what I mean, I could go 1 over 3 times 7. Okay, which then gives us 7 over 21. Okay, then I would do the same type of thing for the other fraction where I would go 3 over 7, but I'm going to times it by 3. Okay, now 3 times 3 is 9, and then 3 times 7, 21. Now if you look at this, I've got 7 over 21 and 9 over 21. This means these are not equivalent. So that's one way you can test. Look at the highest common factors, or test by cross-multiplying. Alright. The next one is 4 over 5 and 20 over 25. Now I'm looking at this going, I know 5 times 5 is 25, so I'm going to test by going 4 over 5 times 5. Okay, now 4 times 5 is 20, and 5 times 5 is 25, and then that means that they are equivalent. So that's a real quick way to check, is seeing, have they got a highest common factor? Let's multiply and check. So let's go down here. We've got 2 over 5 and 8 over 20. Now I know to get from 2 to 8, I've got to times by 4. So I'm going to go 2 over 5 and I'm going to times by 4. Okay, so 4 times 2 is 8 and 5 times 4 is 20. So this is good. It is an equivalent fraction. Alright, let's move on to our next one. We've got 4 over 10 and 16 over 30. Now to get from 4 to 16, I've got to go 4 times 4. So if I go 4 over 10 times 4, okay, I'm going to get my 16 on top, but 10 times 4 is 40. Now these, the bottom of the fractions don't match, and therefore that means that this is not equivalent. So what you've got to look at is okay, what has the top been multiplied by and what has the bottom been multiplied by? And if it's the same thing, then you will have an equivalent fraction. Thank you for watching.